the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us once again here on Turn 3 Racing Network. Sunday night K&N Series action for you tonight from the Tricky Triangle up in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Pocono Raceway gonna put on a show for you guys out there. Long straightaways here at Pocono. Gonna throw up your points leading into race number 6 here in the RFC NextGen K&N Series. There you see we got a tie for first place. Dale Osmond and Chris Berg right there, neck and neck, both at 190 points. So this race here could decide who is up on top of your leaderboard when we hit the track again next week. So, happy hour underway. About 5 minutes left here, but that's going to give us a little bit of time to talk about a few things out there. You do see right across the top of your screens the Save the TATAS 75 race number 6 at Pocono. And we're going to see if we can get a word or two in with the driver of that 84 machine. Chris Meffert, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, my man, how you doing?
Seen better days. How about you?
Well, I've been better and I've been worse, and if I complain, nobody's gonna care. So, you know.
I hear you on that one.
All right, man. Well, Chris, you sponsoring tonight's race, being able to put a charity foundation or bring awareness to any cause out there, and you picked Save the TATAS. Give us a little of the thought process behind the naming of tonight's race.
Well, my mom had breast cancer, and she's a breast cancer survivor, so, that's a big thing. That means, a lot to me. If I could add, a couple more, definitely, liver, just because, our buddy Doug, he lost his daughter a couple weeks back, and, it's truly sad, due to liver. But I mean, just all the causes we have for every race, I mean, it means something special to, one person. It means something special to a lot of people, so, breast cancer is something for me.
10-4, bud. Well, is there any organization out there that you can tell anybody that maybe they can go on and check out, do some donations if they can? Every little bit helps, obviously, when you're up against a big fight like cancer. Do you have any of those in mind or off the top of your head?
At the top of my head, I do not. But what we like to do around here is they got stuff for like Riley Children's Hospital, and also Peyton Manning and St. Vincent. Those are like the two biggest ones in the world for children and everything else. They have a Ronald McDonald House, which that is, if somebody has a sick kid or, was in the hospital with one of them, they'll send them to that house for free. It's basically an apartment. They keep them for free, feed them for free, and they're all strictly donations. So that's something huge, around us.
All right, Chris. Well, and just in case we don't get a chance to talk to you throughout the race or at the end of the race, hopefully we do get to see you in victory lane. Would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, anything like that before we let you go and get ready for qualifying?
Yeah, give a shout out to all my friends and family. I love you to my fiance who's on her way to work. Like I said, shout out to Doug and his wife, for the loss of their daughter. Also shout out and congratulations to Troy and his wife Samantha on their new healthy baby boy, which he's a pretty little special thing. I know that one for sure. And also shout out to Tyler and Tom, which Tom can't make it unfortunately, but and also everybody else that watches this broadcast. We try to put a race on for you guys, and hopefully do one tonight. Absolutely, thank you, sir.
Well, there you have it. That was tonight's race sponsor, Chris Mefford, giving a shout out to a few individuals in the league. As you heard him, Doug Wasaki, our thoughts and prayers and hearts are still out with him and his entire family for their loss. And Troy just brought a brand new baby into the world, so I'm sure he's happy and filled with joy on that. A lot of drivers racing for a lot of great causes here in the RFC NextGen K&N series. And first and foremost, let me apologize about the voice. Battling some sinuses and have been at a wrestling tournament screaming at little kids all day long. So if it sounds a little off, things may be a little muffled, a little snuffy, things like that. If I do cough, I do apologize. I will try to keep that till a minimum. But we have less than 30 seconds left here in happy hour, and it looks like as of right now in happy hour, top of the board is Kenneth Osmond, and Troy Radford and his 49 crew is right behind them, just .007 away from that 88 of Osmond. So Radford right there, almost a full 100th. That's amazing, isn't it? Like, that's a huge number. A full 100th off is that 21 of Jeffrey Vandervoort. So the field pretty much bunched up, those top 5 on the leaderboard right now, all over each other. So qualifying will be at a premium, especially at a very large track like this here at Pocono Raceway. 2.5 miles in length. So a lot of opportunity to make some bold moves, if you will. There you see qualifying has begun. Looks like that 49 of Troy Radford has jumped out there on track, so we will ride with him on his up to speed lap. And I tell you what, I kind of like running some full screen, so we're going to go ahead and get this stuff out of your way and let you watch Troy as he makes his way down the Long Pond stretch for the first time in qualifying. 10 minutes of qualifying here in the RFC NextGen K&N Series here on Turn 3 Racing Network. And there you see, even on this outlap, the rear of the car just likes to step out just a little bit. Gonna be interesting also to go on board with some of these drivers, because in happy hour through the close to that wall is Radford as he exit turn 3, because where's turn 4? They still haven't found it, and I don't think they ever will. Needless to say, Troy sideways off the corner. That's going to give up a little bit of that momentum as he makes his way around down into turn 1, back off the corner. There you see that car sliding sideways yet again. Something these drivers are going to have to deal with is for sure going to be the handling conditions. But as I was alluding to, some of these drivers are opting later in the run to start shifting, and that's going to put a lot more stress on these Chevrolet Impala engines. They're more than likely going to be shifting in turns 1 as well as turn 3, where they can get RPM up and get a good run down this very long front stretch. Looks like Troy is going to cross the line on top of the board here. We'll throw up your qualifying information for Troy as he makes his way around the track for his second time lap, the 48 of Justin Revort. Also out on track, Gordon Larson Jr. and his 01 machine. There you see Eric Blount taking it to the top of the board. That number 6 is leading the pack now. Roger Muth and his 39 machine also out on track. We'll try to jump back with some of these drivers here in just 1 second. Looks like the 37 of Cole Day also out there on track. Yet to put in a timed lap, so should be on his out lap or his coming to his first lap. I said laugh. For his first lap. Troy crossing the line. Gonna slide in. Where does it say? Looks like about third position for Troy. So we'll jump back now with this 39 of Roger Muth as he's beginning to set his qualifying times. There you see the qualifying board over there to your left-hand side. Only 8 drivers with some timed laps so far. So Roger yet to hit the line with a lap that counts or is scored. Trying to look back now, I do see the 5 of Brandon Hartwell. He's off of pit road, getting up to speed. So we'll take a look at Brandon here in just a few moments. Looks like that 88 of Kenneth Osmond back to the top of the board, taking the position away from Eric. Eric slotted in the second position now, already done both of his timed runs, and Kenneth Osmond still has one left to go. Let's see where Muth shakes out. Looks like he's going to slot in up into the 4th position, so good run on that second time lap, because it looks like he had a little bit of damage there is what it looks like. Not quite sure though. So we're going to jump back now with the 5 machine of Brandon Hartwell with just a little over 5.5 minutes, I apologize, left here in qualifying. Only 9 drivers putting down a timed lap as of right now. Cole Day in that 37 machine, he is slotted up into the 3rd position, still on top of your leaderboard, though, the 88 of Kenneth Osmond. And it looks like Brandon Hartwell has shut his machine down. Nobody else out there on track as of right now. Looks like we do not have any takers out there. Everybody that has, I guess, felt like putting in a lap has put in a lap. We still have right around 4 minutes left to go here in qualifying, so we'll keep our eye down there on pit lane, see if we see anybody going out. Meanwhile, that 39 of Roger Muth manipulating or using qualifying to his advantage. He's still out running a couple of laps. So, tell you what, we'll actually just watch Roger go around the track here until we see anybody else go out on okay. Timeout. Pause. Stop. Rewind. Record. So we'll just ride around with Roger here until anybody else decides to head off of pit road before we head down to the racetrack for our pre-race festivities, singing of our national anthem. And I'm kind of surprised that more drivers haven't taken advantage of iRacing's qualifying, where it kind of puts you on the track by yourself unless you have it set to open qualifying. So Roger able to run some laps out there and not have to worry about any incidents, any troubles with any other drivers. And pit road is looking like a ghost town right now. Nobody down on pit lane. So everybody's still back in the garage. I believe that's going to do it for qualifying. So we'll go ahead and snatch that up out of your way. Looks like Kenneth Osmond gonna sneak away with the pole position here today. So only 9 make that 10 drivers, setting a qualifying lap. I'll get it together one of these days. Oh my goodness gracious, David. Yeah. Roger Muth has pulled back on to pit road. So with all that done and said, we're going to step away, throw it on down trackside for the singing of the national anthem. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rackets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Woo-wee. If that doesn't get you ready for some great racing action, I don't know what will. Cars beginning to grid up here on pit road for the Save the TATAS 75 race number 6 here at Pocono Raceway for the RFC NextGen K&N Series. Top of the board, leading the field after qualifying, the 88 of KD. That's right, I did remember. That's what everybody kind of calls you. But Kenneth Osmond taking away the pole. Eric Blount right there in second position. Row number 2 tonight, the 37 of Cole Day and the 49 of Troy Radford. Row number 3, the 5 of Brandon Hartwell and the 39 of Roger Muth. Row number 4, Cody Terry and Gordon Larson Jr. Row number 5 here tonight, Justin Revord and his 48 machine in the 3 of Michael Massengil. Row number 6, the 82 of Tyler Hilton and the 21 of Jeffrey Vandervoort. Row number 7, Rick Reinert in the 19 machine and Damon the Unicorn Cox still riding, and that Autism Speaks 57. Row number 8, the 4 of Matthew McMeekin and the 08 of David Smith Jr. Row number 9, the 14 of Corey Walters and the 17 of Alan Westman. Row number 10, the 45 of Douglas Wasaki and the 43 of Craig Lerman. Row number 12, the 84 of Chris Mefford and the 77 of Lance Yancey. Row 13 tonight, the 44 of Adam Novak and the 47 of Ray Radford. Row 14 tonight, rounding out the field tail end, the 31 of Donald Bennett. Pace car lights are out. We are set to go green flag racing here at Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Going to be a long evening for these drivers. 75 laps around this big 2.5 mile track. That's 188 miles for these race drivers out there tonight. And as you can see, they are just now coming through turn number 2, or some people have different names for it. Some people call it the tunnel turn. Some people just call it turn 2. Some weirdos call it turn 3, but we won't get into that. We'll just leave that one alone. Pace car will be ducking off. We are set to go green flag racing here on Turn 3 Racing Network. Ooh-wee. Pace car finally makes that left-hand turn. Field coming to the line. Green flag is out, and we're back racing here at Pocono Raceway. Dale Osmond, your leader, heading off into turn 1 for the first time this evening. There you see him able to slide in front of the field. Not any issues or problems so far. Looks like further on through the field, still battling side by side. There you see, you kind of come up and out of the racetrack, almost like a Dover effect there. There you see your race leader able to step away from the field, already a 0.3 of a second lead. We'll take a look back through the field. Looks like everything seems to be okay with all of the drivers trying to get all of the racing action early. There you see some more side by side between Roger Muth and Brandon Hartwell and Roger Muth side by side with Cody Terry right there on their heels. Nothing going on up front so far. Battle right in front of these drivers. However, that 49 of Troy Radford has just gotten by Cole Day. So Troy moving himself up into that 3rd position now. Muth able to get past Brandon Hartwell, make his way away from that 22 of Cody Terry. Rest of the field looks to be pretty calm. There you see a 4-car pack just behind. Back there around the 14th position, that is Damon Cox, Michael Massengil, Rick Reinert, all right there with each other. Your race leader still KD Osmond up there with almost a half a second lead over the field already. So KD making no exceptions, no holding back for him. There you see 2 drivers out of turn 3 racing stable. Roger Muth trying to get up there and take the spot away from his fellow driver, that 37 running in 4th position, Cole Day. Battle for 2nd on track now between Radford and Blount. We will get it down this long straightaway. Long Pond straightaway is what a lot of people call it, but there you see field beginning to get single file. Things will calm down just a little bit, but tire wear will come into factor. No, Blount very loose on exit. Radford all over him, looking to the inside now to turn 3. Will Colday decide to put his 37 machine in that hole that Troy Radford is making for him down there on the inside? Where will he go? Down the front stretch, looking to see which lane's going anywhere. He's going to stay on the outside with Eric Blount. Leave Radford all alone to the inside. Does Radford have enough going to turn 1? It looks like he's going to be able to make that pass work. The 37 of Cole Day following through. Roger Youth right there waiting in the wings, and Brandon Hartwell has been able to do away with the 22 of Cody Terry, who has now fell back to the 8th spot. Gordon Larson Jr. taking away the 7th position from Terry. So a lot of drivers on the move early here in the race. Donald Bennett and his 31 machine has made up 4 positions since the start of the race. Looks like Alan Westman also moving up through the field right now as we speak, a little bit behind that 16th position of Michael Massengill. But there you see him. All the drivers still packed up with each other, utilizing that draft. And since being passed by Radford, Eric has slid back in his 6th machine back to the 4th position, now having Roger Muth in his 39 and Brandon Hartwell breathing all over his neck. What will they do? As I don't think anybody at this particular moment has anything for that fast. Sundrop 88 machine up there leading the race. It is very, very early in tonight's race. Only 5 laps in the book. It's going to be 6 when we cross the line this time by. Looks like a few drivers trying to make some passes and some things happen. There you see a 4-car pack. That is Cody Terry, Justin Revord, Matthew McMeekin, and Tyler Hilton. They are all right there with each other. Just behind them, you see Rick Reiner, Jeffrey Vandervoort, Damon Cox. They're all trying to make their way up through the field. And Cody Terry is having a handful right now. A lot of drivers all over him, keeping our eye up front. Cady not giving up any of that gap that he's been able to build. He is maintaining right at that 5/10, that half a second of a lead over Troy Radford. About the same distance to reach the 37 of Cole Day, running in the 3rd position. Out there on track so far, 4th place, Eric Blount. There you see him, same distance just about from Cole Day that Cole is from Troy. And Roger Muth in his 39 rounding out the top 5, but Brandon Hartwell is right there on his rear bumper. Taking a look at this battle still raging on between Cody Terry, Matthew McMeekin, Tyler Hilton at 48, and Justin Revord right there. Waiting in the wings, waiting for something to happen, waiting to capitalize if there's any mistakes. Gonna keep our eye moving through the field just to try to see if we can see any other very, very close battles going on track. Looks like this is about the closest one on track. So we'll keep our eye on that, as it seems that Cody Terry's dealing with an ill-handling race car, and he is holding up some of the... Oh, and contact! Cars go around. Terry flips. He's into the inside wall. Oh, Tyler Hilton coming to a rest as well. Let's back that up one more time with our turn 3 replay. There you've seen it, just contact on the exit there. We'll go back and get one more look at this from a different perspective. There you see him heading off just in the foreground. Cody Terry there coming off And oh, contact made, more contact. Tyler Hilton into it, and Cody Terry goes for a huge spin all the way back onto pit road. Let's take one more look at this wild ride. Man, oh, and just missing those barrels at the end of pit road. But that's not going to do any justice to that 22 machine. Tough break for him. Pace car will pick up your race leader. The 88 of Kenneth Osmond, leading all 9 laps that we have put into the books here tonight so far. Well, we're on lap 9. He's led 8 laps. You get it. A few drivers on the move, though, that we will keep our eye on here on this restart. Alan Westman has come up through the field 4 to 5 positions. It looks like Donald Bennett also from 25th to 19th in that little stint right there. So those are just 2 of the drivers moving on up through the field. Damon Cox also making some gains on that short green flag run to begin tonight's race to save the TATAS 75 here at Pocono Raceway. Who will come down with the race leader? Looks like everybody's going to come on down pit road. So I believe we are going to see that tires are an absolute premium. And yes, indeed, there you see it. Every one of these race cars hitting pit road this time. Looks like we may have to do some early. Oh, and there you see somebody in their pit box messing up just a little bit. That was the 6 of Eric Blount. He missed his stop. Gonna be a long stop for that 6 machine and his crew. Giving up a few positions, coming out just about where he should. But I believe we may have our first lead change of the night, and that is coming off of pit road. Troy Radford about a half a second faster on and off pit road. His pit stop that time was 14.3 seconds to your race leader at the time. Osmond, he had a 14.6 second stop, so 0.3 of a second made up right there. The other 2 just being able to be on and off the throttle at the right times for Troy, and he's going to find himself in the race lead when we go back green flag racing here from Pocono Raceway live on Turn 3 Racing Network. And let's see, being that, well, let's just make sure that the pace car lights do not go off this time. I know Pocono is a very long and grueling track under caution. We'll let all the drivers stay focused in here early in the race. Maybe we'll get to a driver interview or 2 during the race, an in-race interview, if you will, just because these laps under caution here are very long. When you look at the last lap for Troy Radford and his 49 car was scored at a 1 minute and 58 second lap. His fastest lap out there for the race tonight is a 56.83. So over a full minute longer under caution. And some of you may not fully understand. A whole minute difference is like a light year. It's unless you, it's hard to explain unless you know racing. But under a minute lap to almost a 2-minute lap, that is like forever. I'm just gonna stop trying to explain it because I'm just sounding stupid. But I mean, nothing changed with that, so whatever. Ford Buttstain pace lights are out. It's gonna hit pit road. We'll get back. Green flag racing. Troy Radford in his 49 choosing the inside lane. Pace car is off. Green is back in the air here at Pocono Raceway, and Dale Osmond getting a heck of a restart. He's going to be able to yard that 49 of Radford going down into turn 1, and he's got help from the 39 of Roger Muth. He's going to be right there on that outside quarter of Radford coming through turn number 1, looking through the rest of the field. Couple of 2-3 wide situations back there. Multiple lanes and lots of space here for these RFC NextGen K&N Series drivers to utilize through the short chute right there. Yielding the position. Oh, Radford gets loose. That's going to allow Roger to look to the inside going into turn 3. He's going to take that position away. Troy Radford. Oh, little bit of dust flying in the background there. Almost a... Whoa, and Roger Muth going around. Gordon Larson Jr. going around. Looks like the 01 had some issues there, Roger. Whew. Big break for him. We'll take a look. Looks like he may have had to go down pit road, and yes, he did. That's going to be some tough sledding. May have been hit with a speeding penalty there. Not quite sure. I believe maybe the admins will address that. We'll have to wait and see. Keep our eye on how Roger recovers from that. Looks like he drove on and off the pit road already. The 82 of Tyler Hilton made his way around the track a couple times. Under caution, has been back on pit road. But Roger... tough sledding for him as he's going to be all alone. He's going to need a caution or some fuel strategy to play his way in order to get back up front to the lead pack, the front 5. Sorry, hit the mic there. Why? Because, I do stupid stuff. Thought I already said that. Meanwhile, up front, different lap, same story. That 88 machine of Katie Osmond taking off from the field already has a half a second lead over Troy Radford. Troy has got a rear gearbox full of that 37 of Cold Day. And there you see, looking back right now from the 49 of Troy Radford up on top of his Chevy Impala going down through, I believe this is turn 3 there. Cold Day looking to the inside, not able to get there just yet. We're going to keep this thing on rolling. Jump on to our onboard camera here with Troy Radford as he heads into turn number 1, still chasing your race leader, Katie Osmond. There you see the gap. There you see the difference. Not even a full second between first and third. There you see them all over each other heading back into the short chute. Looking back through the field, trying to see if we see any really close battles. Looks like Jeffrey Vandervoort and Chris Medford, Damon Cox, all right there with each other on track. David Smith Jr. closing in on the 77 of Lance Yancey. So we'll take a look back here at this battle brewing between the 77 and the 08, who are just behind that 14 of Corey Walters. And I tell you what, while we've got a little bit of a chance, we'll let this play out for just about a lap or so, keep our eye on it. Meanwhile, up at the front, nothing going on too much different from what we have already seen all night long. Osmond off to a good race lead. However, Radford has been able to close in just so slightly on the field. Now looks like the 08 gonna get by that 77 of Lance Yancey. Roger Youth must have been able to get those issues cleared up. He's still out on track, still on the lead lap. But I tell you what, while we have a chance and an opportunity, because you never know when we'll get the next one, we'll go back up front here towards the front of the pack a little bit further. There you see Osmond, Radford, Cole Day, Eric Blunt, Justin Revord right there in the battle now brewing, because Osmond may have backed off, or Troy may be driving a little bit harder. They're right there with each other. But I tell you what, while that battle rages on, we're going to go ahead and give you what I like to call the shut up and race. And while all that was going on and all that was happening, the 49 of Troy Radford has been able to make his way around the early race leader. Very strong here in the opening laps was that 88 of Katie Osmond. But that 49 has found some long run speed and has been able to not only track down, but put some distance in between himself and Osmond now, as Cole Day is still running in third position, trying to catch up to that 88. Eric Blount has his hands starting to get full of the 48 of Justin Revord as they head their way back down I guess it's the shortest of the straightaways. But that was into the short chute, as I call it. Some people, as I said, call it different things. Some say it's the tunnel turn. I call it the short chute. But, you know, it is what it is. And there you see back in the distance that fluorescent painted car. We have seen this time in and time out so far this season. I know we've only got 5 races in the book. But that 17 of Alan Westman has made his way even further up through the field, now running in the 10th position. We find ourselves 20 laps into tonight's Save the TATAS 75, race number 6 at Pocono Raceway for the RFC NextGen K&N Series here on Turn 3 Racing Network. And look at the run through the center that 88 got that time on Radford. Radford struggling to get the car up and out of Turn 3 there. Osmond's going to be all over his bumper heading back into turn number 1. 55 laps to go here at Pocono Raceway. Want to thank everybody for joining us here on Turn 3 Racing Network. Thank you for joining me, David Whirl, up here in the booth, calling all of the great racing action out there on track. Oh, and Osmond a little bit loose, but he stays in the gas, and he is trying to walk down and take that position back away from the 49 of Radford. Looking back through the field, seeing if I see any closer battles. Looks like the battle for first and second, third and fourth are some of your closest battles. Got to go all the way back here to find a little bit closer grouped together cars. Just in front of them, you do have Alan Westman, Doug Wasaki, Damon Cox. They are all running. There you see right there David Smith Jr. just in front of the 14 of Corey Walters. And Donald Bennett still moving up through the field as well. He has found his way up into the 16th spot. Westman starting shotgun tail end of the field and has driven his way just outside of that top 15. Up at the front, your race leader, Troy Radford, and his 49 machine has been able to step away from Osmond yet again. Now right around the 3/10 of a second mark. Eric Blunt sitting right there behind Osmond. Cole Day in fourth. Justin Revolt in fifth. Jeffrey Vanderbilt in sixth. Seventh, Craig Lerman. Eighth position, Brandon Hartwell. Ninth, Chris Medford. In 10th at 17 of Alan Westman. And I tell you what, we're going to spotlight him. We're going to go ahead and show you how Alan's race has gone so far. There you see it started 19th up to the 10th spot, so a net gain of 9 positions for this man on screen right here. Always fast, always coming up through the field. The 17 of Alan Westman. Also want to spotlight this man right here. And there he goes, giving up a spot to Gordon Larson Jr. David Smith Jr. with a heck of a run so far here. Fell back to 23rd, driven his way back up to 17th. The 31, however, look at that net gain, 12 positions. That's going to be the biggest movers so far here in tonight's race at Pocono Raceway. Donald Bennett starting all the way back in 26th, and it looks like Corey Walters having a little bit of connection issues and some trouble. Bennett right there on his door going through turn number 1. Gonna go back now, see if we see anything going on up at the front of the field. Looks like third place has fallen back a little bit from your 2 race leaders as they continue to battle it out lap after lap. 0.3 of a second separates those 2 drivers. Back up at the front, 49 of Troy Radford, maintaining a solid 3 to 4/10 second lead over Kenneth Osmond, only other race leader so far here tonight. Osmond with 16 laps in his book, Radford with 8. There you see Blunt losing a little bit of time, a little bit of ground, beginning to fall out of our camera view. And Cole Day has not stopped stalking him since the drop of this green flag, since this latest restart here at Pocono Raceway. Now Osmond looking to the inside. Will he take the run this time by, or will he stay patiently waiting in the wings? Is he burning his tires up? Has Radford maybe pushed the envelope a little bit too hard? 16 laps into this green flag run here at Pocono Raceway, and that is a long time. Oh, and Blount almost into the wall. Cole Day now right on top of him. Distance between first and second is the same as third and fourth. Now it looks like Brandon Hartwell making his way around the 43 of Craig Learman. That was for the 7th and 8th position on track. Just look at how sideways these cars are coming off of the corners. And man, it looks like Justin Revord has got his hands full back here as well with this 21 of Jeffrey Vandervoort. Keeping an eye on the race lead. Radford stepped it back out to 0.3 of a second. So battle not quite done, not quite raging at this moment either. In the action for these drivers, probably going to see Osmond take another run at him as he's now fell back almost a half a second behind your race leader. And just like that, that 21 has gotten around the 48 of Revord and stepped away by almost a full second. Your top 5, Radford, Osmond, Blount, Day, Vandervoort. About 5 seconds between those drivers there. You see almost a 2-point, we'll call it 2.5 second distance between the 4th place runner Cole Day and Jeffrey Vandervoort running in the 5th spot. Still keeping our eye back through the field. Roger Muth still out there running, still maintaining, trying to keep himself out in front of the race leader, doing a good job of that so far. Finds himself very, very close to being in danger shortly, should he not receive any help, as he's about 40 seconds behind your race leader. So Troy Radford only about 10 to 15 seconds away from that rear bumper of Youth. There are small battles going on all over the place. Now Chris Medford in his 84 machine, he's going to try to make his way on by Justin Revord. Looks like he's able to. Craig Learman, his 43 machine, right there waiting for the opportunity to try to take that position away as well. As we're now working lap 29 out of 75, 47 laps left to go here tonight on Turn 3 Racing Network. Man, as I said, it's going to give us some great racing action. There's battles for position all over the track. Learman not able to get the spot, but can he get it off of the short chute here? Looks like he gets a good run on the inside. Gonna make the pass on that 48 going into turn 3. Justin right there on the rear deck lid of Learman. Oh, and it looks like Revord gonna go down pit road. He's gonna come down early, 19, make that 20 laps into his green flag run. He's gonna hit pit road. We'll jump back up front with your race leader as Kenneth Osmond has started to reel him in. Once again, that sun-dropped Chevy Impala trying to get back and retake the lead as we inch closer and closer to the halfway point here on Turn 3 Racing Network. And I didn't realize that I'm just stupid sometimes. Well, I mean, I realize that, but there you see your top 20 running order. Oh, and your race leader, Troy Radford, he's going to hit pit road this time by. Do we have any other takers with Radford as leader? Once again, Kenneth Osmond going to stay out for at least another lap. 21 laps into his green flag run. Looks like Chris Medford to hit pit road. Doug Wasaki also hitting pit road. Tyler Hilton still having some troubles and some issues. Roger Muth must have hit pit road already. He's being scored one lap down. Donald Bennett in the 31 also one lap down. Oh, and Osmond almost into the wall there. That was very, very close for Osmond as he came through that short chute. And the car got a little upset and a little unsettled. Looks like he's going to bring his car down pit road this time by. Let's see who will come with him. Looks like Eric Blount does jump down pit road. That's going to leave the 21 of Jeffrey Vandervoort leading the race right now. Also, Brandon Hartwell hitting pit road. So, at least 3 more cars hitting pit road this time by. That's going to shake up your standings for the moment until we get this green flag pit cycle done and over with. A little bit of house cleaning. Well, we'll hold off just a minute until green flag pit stops are done and over with. You see Donald Bennett able to get himself back onto the lead lap, being in front of that 21 of Jeffrey Vandervoort. And it looks like Vandervoort gonna hit pit road this time. That's gonna give the race lead to the 43 of Craig Lehrman. As Vandervoort looks like he's the only one to hit pit road as of right now. No, we've got another taker back there. I believe that's Gordon Larson Jr. in the 01 hitting pit road. Corey Walters in the 14, also bringing his Chevy Impala down for service. Adam Novak still out there on track as well, running in the 8th position. So a few lead changes on our hands here during green flag pit cycle. Looking through the field right now, looks like everybody has made it on and off pit road cleanly. Now that 43, oh, he's gonna miss pit road. Oh, the 08 with an issue, and he stays out. Oh my goodness, what happened there? We'll take a look back with our turn 3 replay real quick. Let's see what happened here. Oh, as the 8 spins and into the wall, backs it into the wall. Looks like he just got loose there. We'll try to jump on board in the cockpit, in the seat with David Smith Jr. in the 08. Yeah, and it looked like the car just got free. Tried to correct it and backed it into the wall just a little bit. We'll take one final look at this, but that is going to shake up the field. Here for the save the TATAS 75. There you see David Smith Jr. just sliding the rear of the car. Oh, a little bit of help from Damon Cox there. Not much Damon could do. Alan Westman hitting pit road. That may be to his benefit here momentarily after pace car comes on and off pit road. Would like to give a huge shout out to, you see him on screen, for providing tonight's aerial coverage here for the Save the TATAS 75, race number 6 at Pocono Raceway. Hayward Elite Wrestling Club out of Bethel, North Carolina. Hats off, thank you, love you to all the coaches out there. Brian Hill, David Bryson, Judd Bryson, Blake Parks. Big shout out also to Heath Early. Shout out to all the kids that made their way to the wrestling tournament. The Elite call out today out in Canton, North Carolina. So, great day on the mat. Tons of fun for a lot of the kids out there. Hats off to all of you. There you see the 39 of Roger Muth being able to, well, let's call it saved from this latest caution. David Smith Jr. was the first car one lap down. However, he was the car that brought out the caution. So he is not going to be allotted the opportunity to get that lucky dog position. It's gonna go to the 39 of Muth, who until now we didn't see that left front damage on that Chevy Impala, but there you see that left front up through the hood area, just over the tire, crinkled up just a little bit. That's gonna slow him down just slightly, but we will rejoin the field up here with your race leader, Troy Radford. There you see great camera angle looking right on the inside of that 49 machine, as we've got a couple cars that are close to going a lap down or are a lap down, going to try to receive a wave around, come around the field, get themselves back on the lead lap. There you see the 14 of Corey Walters. He was a victim of circumstance, so to speak. Finds himself fresh tires, but gonna be tail end of the field. And while we've got an opportunity in some time on our hands, let's make sure your race leader doesn't go down pit road this time. No, he doesn't. Looks like he's gonna stay out on track, so let's see if we can't get in a brief word with our race leader. Troy, it's Dave in the booth. You got a copy?
I do, Dave. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, my man. I kind of sound rough, but is what it is. That's what you get for yelling at kids, huh?
That's true. You know.
Easy to yell at them things, too, ain't they?
Yeah, depending on the day.
Well, enough about me, man. Obviously, race going well for you up there leading this thing. Had a little bit of a battle there with KD, so you think you got anything to scurry away from him here on the restart?
Honestly, I don't know. I think I made a bad call. I should have come in the pits. I'd made like 2 laps before the caution came out, and I debated it, but I think ultimately not pitting is going to bite me. But KD's got about a lap fresher tires than me, and I mean, it doesn't matter a ton with this tire model, but me and him were just so darn close that, I think that might give him the edge here on this run. So, I might have to get a little creative for the next one, but we'll see how it goes out. It's looking like a real good race so far.
Well, man, it's a long way around this huge racing facility, man. And when you're out there, does anything run through your head? Because, I mean, these straightaways are just enormous. How do you keep yourself focused on the corner that you got in front of you? Or do you find yourself kind of mind-wandering sometimes, if you will?
Usually just yelling at myself. That's about it. No, it's mind-wander here. It definitely is.
Well, Troy, is there any one part of the racetrack that feels a little worse than the other as far as the handling's concerned out there in that Chevy Impala?
It is definitely the tunnel turn. Dale's got a lot better car than me going into the tunnel turn. And that's kind of carrying over into 3 a little bit. I think we're pretty even going into, coming out of 3, but he's getting just a little bit of run going into it because of carrying out of the tunnel turn. But I seem to be faster than him going into 1. So, I'm going to try to, if he gets in front of me, I'm going to try to learn a little bit off of him there. I know that's kind of what he was doing. I know Dale well enough to know that when he got behind me, he was just trying to learn what I was doing 1.
All right, man. Well, I do appreciate you talking to us under caution here at Pocono. So, as always, before we let you go and go hammer down, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous to anybody out there watching?
Mainly, of course, give a big shout-out to my wife. She's got the little one here while I'm racing, so, I can't complain too much there. So, a big thanks to her for doing that.
All right, man. Well, elbows up.
Think about it.
There you have it. That was your race leader, driver of the 49 machine, Troy Radford, alluding to the possibility of KD and his 88 just kind of lurking and learning the situation is what's going on for the past few laps, just trying to find the right line, find the right spacing, find the mojo, if you will, to get back by this fast 49 of Troy Radford. There you see him sporting the turn 3 emblems across the quarter panels. Big job. Looking mighty fine out there, Mr. Radford. Anyways, we're set to go back. Green flag racing. Pace car will make the left-hand turn. We will get right back at it. Green flag back in the air. Radford on the gas. Cars heading back down this very, very long straightaway. Do we have any cars looking 3 wide? No, everybody looks to be okay. Eric Blount making up a position over Jeffrey Vandervoort, but there you see Troy Radford walking away from the 88 ever so slightly. We stay green all the way through turn 1, 2, now 3, back to 2 wide. Cars taking advantage of the massive racing surface that they are provided here at Pocono Raceway. A very, very wide track. If you have never been on or at Pocono Raceway, you'll know that you can fit 3, 4 cars easily side by side, even through the short chute. Not recommended, but you can make it work if they were slot cars. Just saying. You can get 6 wide. Look at how many lanes right there. I mean, that's bigger than most interstates. Troy Radford stepping away from the field, but is this a little bit of strategy from Osmond, who does have a lap and a half fresher tires than your race leader? Is he kind of letting Troy get out there and burn his tires up a little faster than maybe Troy wants? Looks like Alan Westman still working his way up through the field, being shown in the 13th position now. Donald Bennett just in front of him inside the top 15, running in 12th, now make that 13th as Westman makes the pass. Battle for 5th right now, 5th and 6th. Cole Day in 6th. He's wanting the position away from that 43 of Craig Learman. Craig gained some track position through that green flag pit cycle, staying out on track as long as he did. That worked in his favor, to his advantage. We'll keep our eye on this battle for just a few more laps. Going to make our way through the racing field, though. Another driver making some moves here through the night. The 19 of Rick Reinert. He has found a way to work himself up inside the top 10. There you see him in his Bass Pro Shops Tracker Chevy Impala. Going through the short chute. Oh, loose! Whoa, big time moment there for Reiner. Coming out of that short chute, out of the tunnel turn, he had a handful of wheel there. Able to get that thing pointed straight and keep the momentum. Not sure how he did it, but he made it happen. There you see Damon Cox back in the background trying to make his way around Donald Bennett for the 14th spot. Everybody else through the field willing to go single file for now. Gordon Larson Jr. has his hands full with Corey Walters. Donald Bennett and Damon Cox, they're fighting it out for that 14th and 15th position. There you see him right there. And there you see Roger Muth in the 18th spot after receiving the lucky dog. He's trying to make his way back up through the field, try to help out his point standing situation. 2, almost 3 wide now. That is Chris Medford, Damon Cox, all right there with each other. Oh, that's going to be close. Justin Revord mired in traffic, stuck behind. These cars running side by side, not wanting to go 3 wide, but will we here? We just may see it for the first time here tonight. Oh! And a car into the outside wall. It sounded like, looked like caution is out. And that was the 57 of Damon Cox. What happened to Damon? Ooh, up and on his lid, back over. Ooh. Let's take one more look at that. We'll go up high in our blimp cam here, try to see what happened, if there was any contact between that 57 and 48. And oh yeah, looked like Damon slowed up a little bit more than what Revord was thinking he was gonna. We'll take a look again here. Looks like Damon Cox kind of jumps out of the gas here, getting ready to go into turn one. There you see Roger Muth just behind and contact and into that outside wall, up on top of it, then over, spinning like a top, back onto all four wheels. Damon Cox snatches a gear and heads into the grass. Tough break for Damon as he is going to be on pit road. We'll go and rejoin our race leader, Troy Radford, up here at the front. Caution out once again for the third time, I do believe. Yes, indeed. There you have it. 3 cautions here tonight, 8 caution laps, 7 lead changes for tonight's race at Pocono Raceway. Your track facts being brought to you tonight by Rick Motec Race Simulator Equipment. Go on and check them out over there at rickmotec.com for all your sim racing needs. They got wheels, pedals, rigs, whatever you need to do with sim racing, they got something for it. Go on over there and check those guys out and buy you some cool stuff, because well, I'm just too broke. Field hitting pit road this time. Troy Radford bringing them all down on pit lane, and it looks like Lance Yancey in the 77 machine, he's going to stay out on track. Gordon Larson Jr. also going to stay out on track. David Smith Jr., he comes around, receives the lucky dog. He'll make his way back up and around the track. Pit, come out tail end of the field. We'll keep an eye here, see who wins this race off of pit road. Have some drivers making their way out. Oh, that's going to be really close between Osmond and Radford. And I believe Osmond walked away with, being accredited, the first car off of pit road. But that is still going to put him behind this man on screen in his nationwide Chevy Impala, the 77 of Lance Yancey, to the point for the first time here tonight. We'll wait and see if Lance decides to bring it on down pit road this time, or if he's going to roll the dice and try to keep these cars behind him. Just over halfway in tonight's race, the Save the TATAS 75, 44 laps in the book out of the 75 scheduled race distance. Lance having a little bit of issues there, so we'll keep our focus back here on Gordon Larson Jr. for a second. But as I stated, 32 laps left to go, 31 when we cross the line this time by. So this race more than halfway over already. We've seen some comers and goers, but we have seen 2 very familiar faces up at the front all race long. And there you see them, 3rd and 4th position on track. Kenneth Dale Osmond and Troy Radford starting right behind your front 2 cars, Lance Yancey and the 77 of Gordon Larson Jr. And I tell you what, while we're under caution here, let's see if I can't get in a word with Lance and that 77 machine. Hey Lance, it's Dave in the booth. You got a copy?
Got a copy. What's up, Dave?
What's going on with you, buddy?
Well, I'm about a 10th place car, so there's only about 19, 20 cars on the lead lap. I'm pretty sure I can get back to 10th place. I wanted to lead a lap. I will be pitting with 2 to go, which is right now, and filling this car up, and hopefully this is my last stop.
All right. Well, I was going to ask you if you thought this was a good strategy, staying out with about 10 laps on the tires, but as you said, you're going to come down, top things off and stuff like that for what would be your last stop. So, yeah, well, we got you, man. How's the race been for you, man? I mean, you said you had a top 10, but you think you can pull anything else out of that machine?
Maybe. If I drive it hard. I do not like Pocono. Out of all the tracks I love, this is the one I hate. So, I'm just here, third in points, trying to get everything I can get and bring this car home in one piece. A top 10 is a win for me.
All right, bud. We'll let you go as you come down pit road, man. And hopefully we can talk to you a little bit later.
Yeah, appreciate it. Have a good one.
There you have it. That was the driver of the 77. There you see him hitting his pit box. And that is going to give the race lead to the 01 of Gordon Larson Jr. About a 10-lap difference on the tires for that 01 of Larson Jr. And that's going to give Kenneth Osmond a little bit of advantage over Radford as he's going to start outside lane. Pin Radford down behind the 01 of Larson Jr. on this restart, and that could be a move that ends up winning the race for Osmond. We still do have 30 laps left to go, 29 when we hit the line, so a lot of things can happen.
What?
And oh my goodness, I brought myself to the wrong channel. I brought myself to the team channel instead of putting Lance in the team channel. So, yeah. Once again, I never cease to find a new way to do something stupid. You would think I'd have all these bugs and kinks worked out by now, but yeah, no. Pace car lights are off. When will it make that left-hand turn and put the field in the hands of your race leader, Gordon Larson Jr.? Back green flag racing. Larson Jr. with a pretty good restart there. A little bit of issues and blinkiness going on with Larson as he is able to actually fend off Osmond going into turn one, looking to the outside. That's going to give the inside preferred position to that 49 of Radford. He's going to slide job his way on up right to the rear bumper of that 88 machine as these cars fan out down the long pond, straight away down this, not necessarily back stretch, but kind of a side stretch. Let's call it a side stretch. What do you think? I think I'm going to submit that to NASCAR, into NBC's, I don't know, forum, something like that, and see if we can't get them to say the side stretch one time during the NASCAR race here at Pocono Raceway. We'll see if it happens. Oh, car getting loose back there towards the rear of the field. Not sure if that was Donald Bennett or if that was Roger Muth. Both cars do seem to be running at speed. May have been Donald Bennett. Yes, it was Donald giving up a little bit of time now to the drivers around him. But I don't want to say amazingly, but surprisingly, Gordon Larson Jr. able to hold off this field, and Troy Radford made his way around that 88 of Osmond. Oh, big moment here into turn three. Osmond all over Radford, Radford all over Larson Jr. And there you see Jeffrey Vandervoort. He is right there as well, running in the fourth. Oh, Roger Muth back down pit road. No, he was able to keep it out of pit road that time by, but big time moment for Muth as he is found himself falling through the field back to the 18th position now. Troy Radford looking to the inside, Pass is made off of turn 1. Kenneth Osmond looking to the inside of Gordon Larson Jr. now working down the back stretch. Radford slots in with about a half a car distance between himself and Gordon Larson Jr. Radford a little bit loose there through the short chute, but this is where you can gain a ton of time, put a big gap between yourself and your competition. Old tires splitting your top, well, your drivers that have led the most laps. KD with 17, Radford now with 23. And will that tire difference become an issue and become a pick, if you will, to slow down the rest of the field for Troy Radford, as it looks like he has now stepped out to almost a 0.6 of a second lead. So benefiting for sure from that 0-1 of Gordon Larson Jr. somewhat holding up the field here as Jeffrey Vandervoort and Osmond battling for that third position. Craig Learman right there, as well as that 37 of Cole Day, who has been up near the front all race long. Now Cole Day looking to the inside of Learman. That's not going to work through the center of 3. They're going to, into the wall a little bit there. That was Jeffrey Vandervoort getting up into the wall just a little bit. Sparks flying off of his race car. Learman getting a push from Cole Day down into turn 1. As Troy Radford has begun to set sail on the field. Almost a 1 second lead now as we are watching the battle for that 5th position. Greg Learman in 4th, Jeffrey Vandervoort in 5th, Cole Day right there in 6th, Eric Blount in 7th, Alan Westman 8th, Brandon Hartwell 9th, and Doug Wasaki in 10th. Oh, big moment. Vandervoort goes around. Cole Day goes around. He gets into, who was that he got into? 3 cars involved in this latest accident. We'll back it up with your turn 3 replay. Jump up to the blimp cam, give you a little bit of this racing action. Ooh, Vandervoort gets around 37 with some help from Westman. And that may have been Eric Blount that got by there. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll back it up one more time. Maybe see contact almost made, and then around goes that 21 of Vandervoort. Eric Blount getting by. Who is that? I cannot tell. That is going to drive me insane. So we'll jump up for one different look, one different perspective on this latest incident here at Pocono Raceway. 21 of Vandervoort down into the corner, and then gets help from Westman. And that is the 5 of Brandon Hartwell. That was also involved in this latest incident there. You see heavy damage to the front end of that 21. He is definitely going to be sitting right here on pit road for just a little bit to beat and bang that damage out. You're going to rejoin your race leader, however, Troy Radford, as he catches up to the pace car. 24, make it 23 laps when we hit the line, this time by 52 out of 75 in the books. For the RFC NextGen K&N Series, race number 6 here at Pocono Raceway. It's the Save the TATAS 75. We're going to wait and see if we have anybody that decides to stay out on track. And my goodness, that 0-1 of Gordon Larson Jr. staying out on track yet again. Ooh, my. And I tell you what, we'll step away for just a brief moment. We'll get back and try to catch a word or two with your race leader, Gordon Larson Jr., should he choose not to hit pit road this time by. But stick with us. We'll be right back. You won't miss any of the racing action live here on Turn 3 Racing Network. thanks for rejoining us here on Turn 3 Racing Network. Once again, for myself, David Whirl, up here in the booth. Glad you could all join us and stick with us all night long here for the RFC NextGen K&N Series. This is race number 6 at Pocono Raceway, the Save the TATAS 75. Gordon Larson Jr. electing to stay out yet again. Wonder if he's playing a little bit of fuel strategy, the long game here at Pocono. I do know a lot of crew chiefs do like to run this thing backwards, mirroring what you would do at a road course. As soon as your pit window opens up, you'll come down pit lane and kind of stick to that. Gordon Larson Jr. sticking to his guns, was able to stay up there pretty close to Troy Radford, so maybe these tires won't be that bad for Larson Jr., but he is going to have to deal with the 2-tire stop there. That last time down pit road, the 6 of Eric Blount able to get out in front of Troy Radford and the rest of the field. Troy gonna be starting in the 3rd position just behind him. What do you know? It's that bright fluorescent car. That 17 of Alan Westman has made it up into the top 5, running in that 5th and final position. So Westman off to his usual and normal tricks, if you will. It's the end of the race, and, well, he's come to play. 21 laps to go, 20 when we cross the line at the restart of tonight's race. Pace car will make that left-hand turn here momentarily, and we will get back to all of the racing action live here on Turn 3 Racing Network. There goes the pace car. Field has hit the gas, and we are off and running once again here at Pocono Raceway. Gordon Larson Jr. with a good start, able to get out in front of Eric Blount, and Troy Radford has made his way by Eric fairly easily into one through the center and off. Slot Radford to second. Now Osmond gonna battle with Blount for that 3rd position. Cars 2 and 3 wide. There you see David Smith Jr. right there battling with that 77 of Lance Yancey. I thought that was the 77 of Lance Yancey. That may be the 19 of Rick Reiner back there battling it out with that 08. But this is exactly what Gordon Larson Jr. is wanting to do. Get away from the field just slightly. 0.3 of a second lead for Larson Jr. Crossing the line. 19 laps to go here in the Save the TATAS 75 from Pocono Raceway. Your race leader, Gordon Larson Jr., 22 laps into his run on the tires that he's got on that K&N Chevy Impala. And man, David Schmidt Jr., I'm sorry, that is Cole Day actually back there battling for the final spot inside the top 10. Cole battling it out with David Schmidt Jr., trying to get that spot. Roger Muth. 2 separate incidents for him in tonight's race, and he finds himself knocking on the door of that top 10. He finds himself sitting in the 12th spot. There you see the entire field coming off of turn 3. And boy, Brandon Hartwell with some heavy damage from that contact under, from the contact made under our latest caution. There you go. I knew my brain would eventually word it correctly and I could spit it out. But now Gordon Larson Jr. having to deal with the 49 of Troy Radford all on his bumper. Now will Larson Larson Jr. be able to keep them fresh tires behind him? I have no clue, but he is going to try to do it. Maintain a good racing line and an offensively defensive racing line at that. Not sure he's going to be able to hold these drivers off, though. They're going to get a great run down the front stretch. Radford with almost nowhere to go for the moment as they head into turn one once again. And Radford not able to do anything with the run as Osmond able to make the move. Great pass there by Kenneth Dale Osmond. KD getting the job done, stealing that third spot away from Eric Blount in the sixth. Now dropping from starting outside row for the latest restart in second spot, falling back to fourth. As Osmond still leading this field on much older tires, so field is going to have to take notice and keep that in the back of their mind. Should we have a late race caution, will it be worth going down pit road for those fresh tires? We'll see how it all pans out here for that 0-1 looking through the field. However, we have not done so all night, so let's throw some cleanup at you really fast as we've got 16 laps to go here. 25 cars made the racing grid here for tonight, save the TATAS 75. We still have 20 cars out there running. First car being scored laps down is that 21 of Jeffrey Vandervoort. He has scored 8 laps down and out of the race. Justin Revord also out of tonight's race in 21st. Damon Cox sitting in 22nd, also out of this race. Tyler Hilton multiple laps down but still running in 23rd. And Radford finally able to make the pass on Gordon Larson Jr. That opened the door for the 88 to follow through. The 6th down there digging on the inside, also trying to take that position away. So within one corner and a straightaway, Gordon Larson Jr. goes from leading the race back to the 4th spot. And he's got Craig Learman and Alan Westman, Chris Medford, all right there on his rear bumper. So he is going to have some troubles on his hand looking further through the field. Douglas Wasaki in his 45 machine back in the 8th position. A little bit of a battle going on here for that spot between himself and the 19 of Rick Reinert, trying to keep you posted and up to speed, abreast to all the racing action here on track. Gonna get back up to the front, and Gordon Larson Jr. giving up more spots going down the front stretch. Oh my goodness, falling deep through the field now is Gordon Larson Jr. He is down pit road with issues. I believe he's probably ran that thing slap out of gas. I cannot confirm or deny that to be a fact, but I think that may be the issue. Meanwhile, regaining the race lead of a few laps ago, this 49 of Troy Radford. And if Osmond doesn't get by him soon, within the next 2 laps or so, Troy Radford is going to walk out of here with the most laps led for this evening's race. And looking through the field, it looks like he may also walk out of here with the fastest lap of the race, that being shown as a 56. No, looks like Kenneth Osmond stealing the fastest lap with a 56.56 to Radford's 56.62. So there you see the split difference between your top 2 out there running on track. There you see just in the background the 43 of Craig Learman. He is right there in trouble from the 17, trying to take that 4th position away. Cole Day also working on that 45 of Doug Wasaki. Roger Muth, how did he do it? not quite sure. Two incidents at least that we witnessed, and somehow he has found a way to wield that thing up inside the top 10, rounding out your top 10, but still there. Everybody knows when you can say I finished top 10 instead of saying I finished 11th. Well, it just makes your pride kind of, makes you stick your chest out a little further just because it sounds better. Battle still raging on between your top two, Troy Radford, the 49, and the 88 of Kenneth Osmond. Pretty much the class of the field here tonight. Oh, and caution is out. And I believe Alan Westman may have been involved. That's 17. Very slow on track. Let's take a look back, see what happened. Oh, and just into that outside wall. Oh, my. Let's take one more look at this. I tell you what, let's get a perspective from the cockpit of Alan Westman. That is a tough hit. We'll take just one more look at it here from yet one more perspective. Looks like the car just got a little bit tight there on exit. And hard impact. And Learman almost clips him. Able to barely get around. So, whew, I believe that is going to put Westman behind the 8 ball a little bit here in tonight's race. Was having one heck of a race, though. There you see it. We'll throw it up for you. Was 19. That's where he started. Drove all the way up to the 4th position. Now finds himself a little bit battered and beaten, but in the 13th position. So still just outside of the top 10. His night is not over, but it is not shaping up to end the way that he would want. Field has caught up with the pace car. Looks like we've got some drivers taking... Oh, and no, Troy Radford with the okey doke. Oh, Lord. That's what I always call it. Faking out, okey doke. No, whatever. Man. And I'm almost surprised more cars did not stay on the racetrack. From what we've seen up here in the booth, it looks like old tires aren't necessarily that bad. But there's at least 6 cars staying out on track. So if you pit it, 10 laps to go right now, going to be about, I'd say 8 when we go back green flag racing. Is that enough time for them fresh tires to come around 7 cars and take the race lead away? Gordon Larson Jr. going to start in 7th position. He's going to be the last car on older tires. About 4 laps of green flag racing on those tires for Larson Jr. So he's got fairly fresh tires compared to the rest of the field. Troy Radford right around the 15 or so laps on his tires. But as I stated, we seen it happen earlier. Gordon Larson Jr. was able to maintain his positions for a handful of laps before he really gave way and had to come down pit road for fuel. Not necessarily tires, so if he didn't have to come down for fuel, where would he have ended up? We'll never know. Well, I tell you what, we don't talk to him much a lot of you guys out there do hear him, especially here on Turn 3 Racing Network. Let's see if we can't get in a word with the 39 of Roger Muth. You got a copy?
Hey, Dave, go ahead. We got a copy here.
Hey, man, you elected to stay out. You're up in 6th, trouble early in the race, I believe at least twice for you. Do you think this is kind of your only shot?
Well, I don't think the Yellows are going to stop here at the end of this one. A lot of fast drivers now a little bit farther back in the field here. They're going to have to be cautious, obviously, with the new tire model, and then all of us have a little bit older tires, so it's going to be hard for them to come back through. 39's had a rough night here, so why not stay out here, roll the dice, and see what we can do. At best, probably a 10th place is what we were. Now we're in 6th, see where the cards fall here at the end.
All right, bud. Well, I know I caught you midstream with your team, so we'll let you get ready to go back to them. But before we do, you want to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, anything like that?
Well, Dave, other than loving you, my good friend, I got to thank everybody here for the league, obviously the NextGen guys, and obviously you got Racing for a Cause coming on board, everything Troy and all the other admins do, Damon and Roy and whatnot. Got to thank them for everything over here.
Well, there you have it. That was Turn 3 Racing's very own Roger Muth, letting him go ahead and get off the line back with the teammates and get things kicked up, ready to go for this latest restart. Pace car lights will go off. Wonder if we can sneak it in here. And as much as I really would like to sneak this in, I don't think it's a good idea. Let's just leave it at that. Troy Radford, your race leader, choosing the inside lane, will have control over this restart when the pace car ducks down onto pit road. Troy sitting there with just about the fastest lap. I mean, ever so close. But he is going to walk out of here no matter what with at least the most laps led. But as we all know, all of us racers would give up leading 74 laps to lead just one lap, and it be that 75th lap. So leading the most laps counts for something, but at the end of the day means nothing. If that makes any sense, or maybe I said that backwards. Maybe I'm just backwards. Who knows? Front of the field looking a little bit different for this restart. Troy Radford will start inside row number 1. Outside, Eric Blount. Pace car getting ready to get out of here. Craig Lerman and his 43 will line up second row inside lane. Douglas Wasaki in the 45 starting outside row number 2. And there you see the 37 of Cole Day side by side with teammate, the 39 of Roger Muth. Field coming through turn 3, 8 laps to go, 7 when we cross the line. Ford Mustang makes the left-hand turn. Field in the hands of Radford. He hits the loud pedal, and back green flag racing we go live here on Turn 3 Racing Network, Pocono Raceway. Race number 6 here in the RFC NextGen K&N Series. It's the Save the TATAS 75 as Radford moves away from the field. Good distance between himself and second. Roger Muth right there, falling through the field back to 8th position. Field fanning out, going around. Battle is for about 4th, 5th position. Eric Blount and Gordon Larson Jr., Douglas Wasaki, all 3 of those drivers all over each other. Roger Muth right there in 8th. Kenneth Osmond, KD, early leader in the race, finds himself mired back in traffic after pitting under that latest caution. Finds himself running in the final spot inside the top 10. Chris Medford, tonight's race sponsor, sitting in 12th position. So tough sledding for the rest of the field if they're going to want to get up and battle with this man right here on screen. The 49 of Radford out to almost a second lead over this fast closing 37 of Cole Day. He's got the 43 of Craig Learman right behind him. Eric Blount sitting in his 6 machine in the 4th spot. Gordon Larson Jr. up to the top 5. Lance Yancey right there behind Gordon Larson Jr. And there you see Roger Muth fighting back now, trying to take the position back away from that 77. We'll cross the line this time with Radford at the point. 5 to go here at Pocono. 3 wide now on the front stretch. Caution is out towards the rear of the field. And I think, Alan Westman, Donald Bennett, the 14 of Corey Walters also involved. Let's see what happened here. Oh, and Walters just bounces it off the wall, it looked like, and into... Oh, my God! Did you see the 44? My, check this out. This is going to be absolutely nuts. Watch the 44 here. He gets just... Oh. 44 goes around hard. Boom! Again, almost in. Woo! We got to get another view of this one. This is one of the best wrecks I've ever witnessed. Oh my goodness. I know that's horrible to say, but watch this 44 go flying through the air almost into the scoring pylon here. Walters into Westman. Westman into him. Oh, and it hits. Landed on all 4 wheels. Oh, man, if I could slow-mo this right here, this would be absolutely phenomenal. Somehow, Novak hits Westman, gets hit by Hartwell, then flips, lands on all 4, and skids to a stop on pit road. Man, I can't not stop watching. I know that sounded crazier than all get out, but man, that was something fierce. Man, that got my man. That was absolutely nutso. Whew. Crazy here at the end of the race. 4 laps to go. I believe we will have an official green-white checkered to the end of this race. Troy Radford with the race lead right now. The 43 of Craig Learman slotted in the 2nd spot. Cole Day in 3rd. Eric Blount in 4th. Gordon Larson Jr. 5th. 6th. Lance Yancey. Roger Muth right there in the 7th position. The 19 of Rick Reinert in 8th. KD sitting in 9th position. Douglas Wasaki rounding out your top 10. Chris Medford right there in 11th. David Smith Jr. And when I said that, looks like we have some drivers hitting pit road, so that's going to mix up the running order from 11th on back. Car getting the lucky dog coming around the outside here. And I believe this will be a green-white checkered, so let's go see if we can get in a word with our race leader. Hey, Troy in the 48. And I hit the wrong button. There it goes. Hey, Troy, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Dave. You forget how to work this thing?
Yeah, you know it's always going to be great when I get to you and I'm already laughing. you know I done did something.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, man, find yourself walking away from today with at least the most laps led. I know the most important one is the last one, so do you think you have what it takes to hold off the rest of the field that's behind you for what I believe will be the final restart of the race.
Yeah, it looks like we are going green, white, checkered here, I believe, unless my math is horrible, which it has been in the past. But, I've led enough laps this season and should have won enough of these things that I will never count it until I cross that checkered flag, just because, we've got so much talent in this league that it's not going to take anything for one of these guys to step up. I caught a big break there with Dale actually pitting. I did not want to be caught in the dogfight back there mid-pack, and that's kind of exactly what happened to him. So, I'm very, very lucky. I think Dale on the long run is just a little bit better than I am, so I was very lucky there. But, still got Lerman behind. He's won quite a few races in NextGen. Cole Day, who I think is pretty new to us, but still has showed a lot of speed, and, never count out any of those guys.
Well, man, it's a long way around the track here under caution at Pocono. And just in your opinion, and I know it's off the wall, just completely stupid question, but what do you think is, as far as caution laps, is the longest? Do you think it's longer here or like we were last week at Daytona?
Honestly, I think it's worse here. I know the tracks are similar size, but I don't know, it always just feels worse here. And then you get, like at Daytona, it breaks it up a little bit, because my rule of thumb at Daytona is every time I pit, I'm going to come in, because I never want to be at the front of the pack unless it's late in the race. So every time I'm going to pit once, and then I come back down and I top off with one to go. So it kind of breaks up those laps a little bit. Pocono, man, you're just sitting here staring for rabbits, and they haven't put those in the game yet.
Let's be, don't give him any ideas. I mean, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. So, Troy, man, thanks for taking a little bit of time, having a little fun, just talking some nonsense with me up here before I let you go again and get focused in on what you got on your hands. You want to give any more shout-outs, anything like that?
Just glad that the one that we got here, of course, we got Doug Wasaki back with us, and he was here last week, but he was kind of, he's had a rough time of it, so really glad to see Doug back in here and hopefully get his spirits back up a little bit, acting like an idiot with us.
Yeah, I think I'm the king idiot, but we'll leave that alone, man. Elbows up and good luck.
I think, bud.
Well, pace car lights are off. One and only attempt at a green-white checkered situation. So next flag will, well, I shouldn't say next flag, but if there's a caution before the white flag waves, the race will be deemed over? Or will we get a full 2-lap shootout here to the end of this thing to determine who walks away the winner for the Save the TATAS 75 here at Pocono Raceway tonight on Turn 3 Racing Network? And it's such a sad sight to see all these Chevys out there running in the one car the Fords have out there. The lights quit working on it all the time, and it always has to go get fixed on pit road. That's a pure shame right there. But enough about my opinions and what I think, because, you know the rest of that situation. 49 of Troy Radford looking to have a great restart here, the final restart for tonight's race. Will he have what it takes to get the job done, or will we get Craig Lerman, possibly Cole Day, maybe Eric Blount walk away as your race leader, your race winner? Pace car is off. We're back green flag racing once again here at Pocono Raceway. Lerman not getting a great start. He is under fire from Cole Day, as well as Eric Blount out there on the outside. Inside lane rolling just a little bit now. Lance Yancey said he barely had a top 10 car. He finds himself in the 5th spot, right there battling with Gordon Larson Jr. He's got Eric Blount just in front of him. There you see Roger Muth in the distance, just in front of Kenneth Osmond as Katie's looking to the inside. Radford back around on the bottom of the track. Looks like Radford gonna walk away from tonight's race as your race winner, unless something happens catastrophic here off of turn 3. Oh! Cars going around. Lance Yancey caught up with Eric Blunt, I believe that was. Roger Muth, he got sent down pit road. Oh my God, look at the carnage. We got to go back. I don't even know who we're going to jump back on board here, but let's go back here to Blunt. He gets loose into Lance. Roger Muth avoiding it down. Oh my, there's cars everywhere. Back up the track is Lance Yancey into the 82 of Hilton. Oh, that was, I don't even know how many cars that was. Muth on to pit road, avoiding it. But there goes Lance Yancey back up the track right in front of Tyler Hilton. Woo! Not the way some of these drivers wanted to finish their race. Roger Muth, he's going to drop all the way from just outside of the top 5 all the way back to the 16th position. Eric Blount running just outside of the top 3. He finds himself sitting in the 15th spot now. Alan Westman also out of the race. 17 going to finish in 17th. Lance Yancey from 5th to 11th. Heavily damaged vehicle on pit road, just trying to fix it up enough to finish this thing on out. But not sure he's going to make it back off of pit road anyway. And that is going to put an end to tonight's race. Troy Radford crossing the line. He will be tonight's Save the TATAS 75 race winner. Great racing action and just a tough break there at the end for some of your drivers. So we're going to step away as Troy makes it around the track on his cool down laps here. Got some drivers messing with him a little bit. There you see it. We're going to step away for just a brief moment. Get everything set up for your post-race interviews here tonight. So bear with us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on Turn 3 Racing Network. there you see it, your race winner, Troy Radford, burning it down. No need to, I mean, I don't even know what I was trying to say right there. No need to worry about destroying it. You've already won. You've already put yourself where you needed to be. So we will now get things all ready and set up for your post-race interviews. And let's see if we can't first get in a word with your third place finisher here tonight. The 37 of Cole Day has climbed out his race car. Cole, man, how you doing?
Not bad. Pretty good comeback there throughout that race. I honestly wasn't expecting that great of a finish.
Well, man, I mean, you ran kind of up in the front. You had a little rough mid-patch of the race, I guess you would call it mid-patch. And then you found yourself back up there at the end. Was there any strategy involved in working your way back up towards the front?
I was just trying to take care of my car and try to figure out how it drove. After that little bit of damage I got, it really changed. It really made it a lot tighter, so it was kind of hard for me to... I had to take a lot of time to figure out how to drive it again. And then just to stay out as much as I could because it was kind of hard to pass. And track position was really important tonight.
Now, Cole, do you think the track position out there tonight, do you think it's any different now that we're running this new tire model? Do you think the tire wear comes into factor even more at a place like Pocono, where a half a lap can be a huge difference?
Yeah, I definitely think it is a big factor at most tracks. For tonight, it seemed like the longer you would run, though, there wasn't a lot of tire fall off. So the people who stayed out on tires weren't as slow as at other tracks. So tonight, it was really about track position, and the new tires. New tires take a couple laps to really come into it, so you can actually drive it hard, and then by then it's pretty single filed out, and it's just hard to pass because it evens out really quick here at Pocono.
All right. Well, Cole, man, congratulations. Great race, great finish, walking away third place out here tonight. Before we let you go, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, anything like that?
Definitely you open the booth broadcasting every week. It's always awesome to go back and watch. Turn 3, able to put this on YouTube and for everyone to watch. All admins in the league, so putting on this great league, keeping everyone in their place, fighting the fires between drivers and everything.
All right, man. Well, we'll look forward to catching up with you next week when we head to, I call it Lanier. Some people pronounce it differently. So, we'll see you at the short track.
Thank you.
There you have it. That was your third place finisher for tonight's race, Cole Day in his 37 machine. Now we'll see if we can't get in a word or two with your second place finisher tonight, the 43 of Craig Learman. How you doing, bud?
Doing good, Dave. How you doing?
I can't complain, and if I did, nobody would listen.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
Well, man, walking away with second here tonight, Craig. Tell us a little bit about your race.
Well, pretty wild. Started in the back there, started P20, worked through that, got up inside that top 10 there and was working, but the guys up there were fast. So I was struggling a little bit at that point. Some things changed and got inside the top 5, managed to hang on.
Were you concerned there at all? There in the, I believe it was the last 1 or 2 restarts we had there. Were you worried the tires just weren't going to hold on enough to keep those guys that pitted for fresh tires behind you?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think a little bit of wear on those tires seemed to run better. We watched Gordon, what he did. He stayed out through those 2 yellows, and he was able to hold everybody off for a while. until his fuel ran out. But no, I think that it definitely was a good thing to stay out. I think it drove better.
Well, man, once again, great job out there walking away with a second place. Definitely going to help your point standings positions after a finish like that. Do you think this is going to help you have any momentum going from such a big track down to a small track like Lanier next week?
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about that. I haven't put any time in there, so I'm going to have to get to work on that. Short track, I mean, decent, as long as I don't X out. But we'll see. Next week will be interesting.
All right, Craig. Well, once again, congratulations on a second place finish here tonight. Would you like to give any shout outs? Thank yous, love yous, anything like that before we let you head on out the track?
Yeah, absolutely. My teammates Matt, Alan, Jeffrey, all the time that they put in working with me and teaching me, and for you and what you do and for the league. Appreciate everything you guys do, and we'll catch you next week.
All right, there you have it. That was your second place finisher in tonight's race. But now we will go to, there you see it. You see his car on screen trying to get, I don't like that one. Maybe not that one. Here you go. There you go. We'll use this one. I like that shot. Car looking nice and clean out there. So let's see if we can't now steal a little bit more time from your race winner out there tonight, Troy Radford in that 49 machine. Troy, man, how's it feel?
Man, it has been a long time since I've been in victory lane in a NextGen series. So, very, very glad to see me be able to finally wrap one up here and get that RFC NextGen win. Definitely needed it, and hopefully that'll help out in the points a little bit. So I've needed a couple of good runs here.
Well, man, I'm gonna ask you to maybe discuss what multiple drivers said tonight in their post-race interviews. I asked them if they were worried about that tire wear on those later restarts, and you mentioned it actually in the in-race interview we were doing there, that Kenneth kind of got stuck behind you and had to deal with a lot more cars on older tires. And were the tires that much better on the long run than on the short run here?
Yeah, they definitely were. The overall, this tire model, and it seems like it's not this way in the rest of the cars, but just in the K&Ns, the drop off between lap 1 and 3 is massive. I mean, the grip level is just so much more on lap 3 than it is on 1. It seems like on these K&N cars, on some of the tracks, and especially like Pocono, seemed a little extra worse too. But it definitely seems like, the tires just have so low grip on the first couple laps that if I'm sitting there 7-8 laps to go, I'm not pitting, because I know, one, the chance of caution coming out is pretty good. And then on top of that, I'm going to have 2 laps where my older tires are flat out faster than the new tires. And then, they're going to lose a second or so just trying to get their tires back in. So, the chances of them getting up there and catching me is pretty low.
Well, Troy, I mean, you led 43 out of the 75 scheduled laps. I believe we had an extra lap or 2 there with that green-white checkered. But, I mean, dominated the race up there once you got the race lead. Do you think this gives you any good juju heading off into a short track like Lanier next week?
I sure hope so, man. So I grew up racing on Lanier. That was when I raced in real life. Lanier was my home track. So I can't say that it's ever done me any favors with it being my home track. But, I know the way around there. I know I'll be decent at the track. I just, you hope to stay out of the mess there. That's always the trick. It's hard to pass. It's such a short track. Stuff happens so quick that's really all it is. And it's gonna be a tough race. It really is gonna be a hard one. But overall, you just qualify up front there and hope that you can hang. So I hope it brings me some good juju, like you said. But oh man, it's Lanier.
Yeah, short track racing, my man. You know how it's all done and how it goes down. Put it down out there tonight, my man. Awesome, awesome job walking away with the race win. I believe it's your first one this season with the RFC NextGen K&N series. So, putting a little tag into that line, if you will, for the stats for you. Congratulations. Would you like to give any shout outs, thank yous, love yous before we let you head on out and celebrate?
Main one, of course, I've been running National Kidney Foundation colors for years. We had something happen. Of course, my son was born a week and a couple of days ago. Well, when my son was born, he was actually born with that part of his left arm. And that was due to an abnormality when he was in the womb. Something wrapped around his arm and caused it to not. So we've changed over from National Kidney Foundation colors to the Lucky Finn. The Lucky Finn group, and Lucky Finn is actually, obviously it's based off of Finding Nemo reference, but it's all about kids who have limb differences. And he's a perfectly healthy baby, and he's awesome, and there's no issues. It's just something that's different. So we've definitely changed over to Lucky Finn Foundation. Definitely some cool stuff that they do there as far as raising support and awareness, and that's the main thing with this, is supporting the parents behind it. And they've got a great group out there. So really love shouting out for them. Of course, like I said earlier, my wife for putting up with me doing this as much as I do. And, that's pretty, we get my dad out there, and I always love racing with my dad. So he had a good solid run, came home 13th, just knocking on the door of a top 10. So it was a good race, can't complain anywhere there. And, thank you for doing what you do, man.
All right, man. Well, Troy, did not know that, but if it's any consolation to you, tonight, actually at the wrestling tournament I was at all day, there was a child with only half of his left arm, and he ended up winning his weight class. So, nothing. I'm trying to find the right words. My brain's not working. No. Big things are still accomplishable. So
exactly, and that's you look at this with like information that Lucky Finn Project gets out there, and it's easy to find stuff. But it seems like the kids that have this, and that whether it's an arm or a leg or fingers or whatever it is, it's all limb differences. But it seems like these kids are so determined that one, they never know any different. It's not like he's lost an arm. It's just something different. But he's never going to know any different. And it seems like the kids that have this, man, they're just so determined that freaking nothing stops them.
Absolutely, man. Well, once again, great race out there, and we look forward to catching up with you next week.
Yep, hey, thank you, man.
There you have it. That was your race winner, Troy Radford, and his 49 machine.
Hey, Jax.
Walking away with the race win, and what do you know? I did it to myself again and put myself in the wrong room again. But I fixed it. It's all good, man. Well, that's it for us here tonight from Turn 3 Racing Network. Nothing left to do except run down your finishing order for tonight's race. First position goes to that 49 of Troy Radford, while Craig Learman finished in second. Third was Cole Day. Fourth, the 01 of Gordon Larson Jr. Fifth place goes to K.D. Osmond in that 88 machine. The 19 of Rick Reinert in sixth. Douglas Wasaki coming home in seventh. Eighth spot goes to Chris Medford. Ninth position, the 08 of David Schmidt Jr. Rounding out your top 10, that 14 of Corey Walters. 11th position to Michael Massenjo. 31 of Donald Bennett coming home in 12th position. He's going to get the biggest mover of the race as he started tail end of the field and walked away with a 12th place finish. So great job by Donald Bennett. 13th spot goes to the 47 of Ray Radford. This 6 of Eric Blunt had some late race trouble. Finds himself back in 14th, 15th spot. One lap down. The first car, one lap down. The 77 of Lance Yancey. 16th position, the 39 of Roger Muth, while in 17th, the 17 of Alan Westman. 18th position goes to the 5 of Brandon Hartwell, sliding in the 19th spot, the 44 of Adam Novak. 20th position to the 21 of Jeffrey Vandervoort. 21st here tonight, the 82 of Tyler Hilton, and after early troubles, the 57 of Damon, the Unicorn Cox, goes home in 22nd position. The 23rd spot goes to the 48 of Justin Revord. 24th position, the 4 of Matthew McMeekin. Rounding out the field for tonight's race, the 22 of Cody Terry, with very early trouble here from Pocono Raceway, put an end to his night. That's it from us up in the booth. From myself and everybody else at Turn 3 Racing Network, I'd like to thank you for tuning in each and every time we go live. Look forward to seeing you back on track. We'll see you tomorrow night here on Turn 3 Racing Network.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.